Well, hello scrappers, YouTubers of all sorts. Welcome back to my channel. Mike here. We got the Smash-O-Matic out today. We're going to smash some rocks, and we're going to pan them out, and we're going to see if there's anything good in them. And what kind of rocks are we going to smash, you ask? Well, I've got some core samples here from the world-famous Homestake mine in South Dakota. I picked these up the last time I was out in South Dakota, and I forgot I had them until I was looking through my massive collection of rocks the other day and found them. And I said, oh, yeah, I brought these back from South Dakota to see if there's actually possibly any gold in this stuff. Because I can get a lot more of this the next time I'm out there, which will be in about a month and a half or so. So what I plan to do today is run this stuff through the old Smash-O-Matic here and collect all the dust that's produced as this stuff gets pulverized, and then we'll pan it out and see if there's any gold or anything else interesting in it. If not, well, I'm only out maybe a buck or two on this stuff. If there is, well, I know I can get a lot more of it. So I think it's going to be an interesting experiment. So let's give it a shot. I'll give you a close-up look at these before we smash them up. Okay, so here's the Homestake mine core samples I'm going to chop up in the Smash-O-Matic today. I think I will take a hammer and break up these bigger pieces into smaller ones just so I don't choke the Smash-O-Matic too badly. This stuff seems like it's pretty hard, so it might need to be busted up a little bit. I didn't buy too much of this stuff because I didn't know if it actually has any value to it or not, you know. Just about every rock shop and roadside rock stand in the Dakotas will sell you some Homestake mine core samples. And they're dirt cheap. I mean, like pennies to the pound. So I didn't buy much just in case there's really nothing here. But if there is, I can go back and get a whole lot more. I can get a boatload because I'm going to be back in the Dakotas in a little over a month. Now, I was a little selective in what I took out of the big bin of core samples. I got the ones that showed the most rust or iron oxide on them because, as the old-time miners will tell you, gold rides an iron horse. You're most likely to find gold where you've got iron pyrite and oxidized iron sulfides. So that's what we're going to run through the Smash-O-Matic this morning. I'm going to get a hammer out and I'll bust this piece in, at least in half. These other pieces might be small enough to try. And then we'll fire up the old Smash-O-Matic and turn this stuff into powder, and we'll pan it out and see what we get. So, you've seen the Smash-O-Matic before. I have a whole series of videos on building this. It's my own take on a flail/hammer mill. Inside there's 4 chains that spin at outrageously fast speeds, and each chain has a homemade hammer on the end of it of hardened steel, and they are just going to smash the snot out of any rocks that go down the inlet, and it's going to come out here, the front, through this hose as a fine dust into a vacuum cleaner down here. Since I don't have that much material to process today, I don't have the whole Dust Deputy Cyclone separator set up. We'll just suck everything into the vacuum and work with whatever it collects, rather than bothering with the Cyclone separator. You've seen me use it before when I'm doing more material. So let me gear up with some hearing protection and a dust mask, and we'll get started. This shouldn't take long. There's not much rock there. Okay, here we go. Give this a shot. Turn the vacuum on first. Now the Smash-O-Matic. Hard stuff. I'm just going to let this run for a few moments so that we can suck all of the dust out of it. Alright, woo. Alright, off with the hearing protection anyway. Let's take a peek inside the vacuum and see what we sucked up. Oh yeah. Let me get a paintbrush and I'll clean the material off the filter. But yeah, we got some stuff in the bucket. Good, we can pan it out. I'll give you a look at what's in the bucket after I clean the filter off. Okay, so here's what we collected. That looks like enough for a good pan or two. Alright, let me set up my panning equipment and get some water in a tub, and we'll pan this out and see if there's anything good in it. Should be fun. Alright, I think I've got everything I need to pan this stuff out. I've got the pulverized stuff here in this big pan. I've got my favorite small pan for sampling here. My miner's magnet, my snuffer bottle, my classifying sizz, although I don't think I'll bother classifying it down. I think I'll just do it right as it came out of the Smash-O-Matic. It's pretty fine. I'm sure there's probably a few chunks in here, but I don't think I'll bother classifying it. Let's see, I got my loop so I can look for fine gold. Got some jet dry. I got a tub of water here. I'm going to put some jet dry in the tub of water. That will help break up the surface tension of the water, and fine gold won't float that way. Yes, fine gold will float. People like to argue with me about that for some reason, but they've obviously never tried to pan fine gold. Otherwise they wouldn't be arguing. They'd be agreeing. Okay, let me reposition the camera and we'll pan some of this stuff out and see if there's anything good in it. Okay, so let me do about half of this material at a time so I don't overload my pan. Get it down here. Oh yeah, it's as fine as talcum powder. And when it's that fine, it tends to be hydrophobic. So you got to get in here and you got to mix it up. Get it all mixed with the water. The jet dry helps with that too. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so now we've got it all wet. We've got a nice slurry. Can pan it and see what we got here. Yeah, just run some of this fine stuff off right over the riffles. Leave the heavier stuff behind. Get this stuff mobilized again. Turn it back into a slurry. Trying to get the heavies to settle right at the bottom corner of the pan right here. There's this lip right here. Well, it goes all the way around the pan. I want the heaviest stuff to settle in that lip right down here on the low side of the pan. I'm holding the pan like this. So once I stop agitating it, the slurry seizes up and heavy stuff settles to the bottom. Okay. Now one thing we need to do, and one reason I brought the miner's magnet over, is there's going to be some iron in this stuff. There's going to be bits of iron and steel that broke off of the Mighty Mill hammers. And there's going to be, it looks like some magnetite in here that's actually in the ore. So I'm going to take the magnet here in a second and I'm going to pull that magnetic fraction out. Try to anyway. Yeah, see that? See that stuff on the magnet there? I don't want to trap a lot of gold in it though. Just want to get the magnetic stuff out and make sure I don't trap any gold up in there. So what I'll do is I'll drop it and pick it back up and the gold will have a chance to fall out. Oh, there's a lot of magnetite in this stuff. This is not all coming from the Smash-O-Matic. There's a lot of magnetite in this stuff. That's another good sign. Iron oxides, iron sulfides, that's a good sign. I can see why they were drilling there. Drilling their core samples. Got all the signs for gold. Whether there's any gold here or not, I don't know. But it's got all the signs. Yeah, the Homestake mine. Very famous mine up in South Dakota. Up in Lead, South Dakota. They call it the richest 100 square miles on Earth up there. And that mine ran from, well, sometime in the 1800s. I forget exactly when they started it. Up until what, like 2002 or something, as an active gold mine? They're using the shafts and tunnels for other things now. Scientific experiments that need to be done deep underground. But after 2002, it just wasn't profitable to mine gold there anymore. Although if gold stays up near its current highs, who knows? Maybe they'll restart active mining there. I don't know. Let me pan off a little bit more of this stuff and I'll see if I can get some more magnetics out. It seems like there is a whole lot of magnetite in this stuff. A whole lot. More than I was expecting. It's almost like that chunk of ore that my buddy Jim sent me a while back, which proved to be almost 100% magnetite, with a little bit of iron pyrite or fool's gold crusted on the surface to fool you into thinking it was a valuable rock. Panning that stuff was a nightmare after I smashed it up. Fortunately, there's not near as much material here as there was in that big rock Jim sent me. So, should get through this pretty quickly. Yeah, they must have done a lot of core drilling at Homestake Mine, because you get within 2 states of South Dakota, every rock shop you visit will be selling core samples from Homestake. And of course, once you get into the Dakotas, everybody and their brother-in-law is selling them. Whether there's any value to them or not, I don't know. I guess that's what we're about to find out. At least the ones I picked up. Maybe I didn't pick up the good ones. I don't know. Or maybe I did. We're starting to get down to it here. Yeah, this might have benefited from some screening if I just wanted to look at the finds. Let's see what we got here, huh? A whole lot of magnetite in there. So I'm hoping the gold's up in here. So I can feel pretty confident about getting rid of everything else. Of course, I am panning into a tub here. So if I think I've lost any gold, I can always just empty the tub out and repan everything that's in it. I don't have to worry about thinking that I've lost any gold. Getting down to some lighter colored stuff in here. I mean, this is really dark looking magnetite down here, but we're getting up into some lighter looking stuff. I'll bet there's some sulfides in there. When I was running this through the Smash-O-Matic, I could smell sulfur. I could smell like hot metal, which is probably from sparking as the hammers and chains inside were spinning and hitting the rock. There was probably a lot of sparking, but I could also smell sulfur. And this stuff is starting to take on the look of sulfides up here. Definitely looking like sulfides. Which is, you know, another reason they would have been drilling there, because those are good indicators for gold. Let me get some of these big chunks out of here. And I'll repan all this finer stuff, re-stratify it, and walk it back and have a look at it with my loupe and see if it looks like there might be any gold in there, or any minerals that might contain gold, because they can be locked up in the sulfides too. I hope this is showing up. I can't see the camera viewfinder from this angle. I think I'd never panned on camera before. It's been a while since I've done it. Alright, let me get my loupe out and take a look at that remains down there, because that is really getting light colors. And it makes me wonder what's in there. Need a little more water in there. Oh, there's some shiny stuff in there. Oh, we definitely got sulfides. We've definitely got lots of sulfides. I would say probably iron pyrite, from the color and sort of the cubic texture of it. Very shiny. The cubic faces of the pyrite crystals are like little mirrors, and they reflect the light really well. There might even be some gold in there. There might be some gold. Let me pan this back a little bit better. There could actually be some gold. In amongst the pyrite, I see some other shiny stuff. It's a much more golden color than the pyrite. The pyrite's not quite the right color. Not quite gold. But there's something else in here. It just might be gold. Take a look here. Pan this back a little bit better. Get a better look at it. If it's what I think it is, maybe I can even get it on the macro on my phone. We'll see. Oh yeah. We got a few specks of gold mixed in with all the iron pyrite here. I will try to get this on my phone, get you a close-up look at it so you can see it. Don't just have to take my word for it. There's actual gold in this stuff. I am shocked. I figured I'd be skunked. Okay, let me see what I can do to get you a close-up. Okay, bear with me while I try and get you a view of this stuff. Now that stuff is all shiny and gold looking. And it would fool a newbie into thinking that was all gold. But it's not. It's mostly iron pyrite. But mixed in with it, there's a few specks of stuff that looks even more like gold. And that is actually gold. Off to the upper left, there's one. And there's a few others all mixed in up along the top edge up there of that line of pyrite. So yeah, we actually got some gold in this stuff. I hope it's showing up. I can't really see the viewfinder on the phone that well out here in the sun, but I could see it with my loupe. We got gold in these dirt cheap core samples from the Homestake mine. Wow. Let me see if I can pan out some more. I'm here sucking up all of that gold and the sulfides into my snuffer bottle. Let me repan that, get some I missed, or re-stratify it and get some I missed. Yeah. So I'm sucking up the gold into my snuffer bottle because the fine gold, it's too small to try and pick out even with tweezers. So just suck it all up into this snuffer bottle. And I also sucked up all of the sulfides that were in there, because those sulfides can contain gold in them too, those sulfide crystals. So someday I will smelt down the contents of my snuffer bottles, and I should get all the fine gold I've sucked up with them, plus maybe a little more gold out of the sulfides I've sucked up. Because whenever I smash up rocks with the Mighty Mill or the Smash-O-Matic and pan them out, I'll always suck up not only the fine gold but the sulfides. It doesn't matter whether it's pyrite or arsenopyrite or chalcopyrite or whatever. You know, I'll suck up those sulfides, and just on the hopes I might get some more gold out of them in the future. So, I mean, hey, the gold was associated with the sulfides to start with, so there's probably more in the sulfides, okay? So, I've got another half of this material to pan, and I'll tell you what, the big pieces were being a bit of a pain in the butt, so I think this time I will sieve it, just to make panning it a little easier, because that gold is very, very fine in there. and those big pieces are just in the way. I'm sure there's no gold in them. I could run these back through the Smash-O-Matic again and repulverize them, but there's probably not enough material there to make it worthwhile. So let me get this stuff going just like last time. We'll get it panned out and see what goodies it holds. Probably about the same thing, I would imagine. Stuff off my hands too. Gold likes to stick to my fingers. Okay, get this super fine stuff out of here. Dump it out slowly across the riffles. Now we can start panning properly. Get this stuff into a proper slurry. Pan it. Try and get the heavies down to that corner. Take things out over the riffles so any heavies are going to get caught in the riffles as they go. Yeah, I know, I pan a lot slower than some people. But I'm looking for just the faintest trace of gold here, okay? I want to know what we got in here. Ooh, I can really smell the sulfides now. It's just wafting up out of the pan at me. Okay, we're getting rid of the super fine stuff here. Get rid of some of the magnetic stuff again. Yeah, there's a lot of magnetic stuff there. That's just crazy amount of magnetic stuff. See, all this black magnetite used to be iron sulfide. It got oxidized in the ore body. And when it got oxidized, those sulfides, they released their gold into the ore body. Concentrated it. That's why the Homestake was such a rich mine. A lot of people think that the gold just sort of bubbles up out of the earth in places and comes out highly concentrated. Well, no, it doesn't. It comes out highly dispersed and geochemical weathering processes concentrated for the most part into enrichment zones, and that's what you wind up mining. Okay, let's pan this stuff down a little bit, see if we can get down to the good stuff. Oh yeah, there's a lot of... I'd be here all day with the magnet trying to clean this up. I'll just assume the golds and the sulfides are heavier than the magnetite. They should be, and they're going to be down in that corner. And then I'll just walk a lot of this other stuff back and get rid of it. When you're panning, black sand is your enemy, and this stuff is almost all black sand. Almost all magnetite. I can smell the sulfides in there though. It's starting to get a little lighter too as I take the magnetite off the top. Oh yeah, we're getting down to the lighter sulfides now. Definitely lightening up. Got to keep stratifying it. Make sure I keep that gold down at the bottom of the pan. And then just sort of wash the lighter stuff on top off. Because gold's going to be the heaviest stuff in the pan. Those sulfides are probably the second heaviest thing. And then the magnetite is the lightest thing. But the difference in density between the magnetite and the sulfides isn't that great. So you got to pan carefully, which is one reason I'm going so slow. As opposed to some people who pan like they're on meth. But I'm not production panning here. I'm sampling. I'm looking for any little trace of gold here. Definitely getting down to some light stuff now. Wash some of this stuff out and then see what we got here. Oh yeah, we got quite a line of sulfides up there. That light stuff up there, that's all sulfides. So that's where the gold will be too. Get rid of a little bit more of this stuff. Let me see if I can just... Tapping the pan like this will move the gold up towards your tapping finger if you hold the pan right and tap it right. It'll move the heaviest stuff up there. So that should keep the gold towards the top of this line of sulfides. Let's see what we got here. Well, a lot of sulfides again. A whole lot again. Wow. That is a lot of pyrite. I'm gonna have to move some of that pyrite to see if there's any gold under it. Gently, gently, gently. Yeah, there's one little speck of gold. Oh, there's another. Oh yeah, there's some gold. Okay. It's harder to see in this pan than the first one, but it's there. Let me see if I can make it a little easier to spot, and I'll try and get you a look at it out in the sun again. But boy, there's a lot of shiny sulfides in here. The gold is just a slightly different color of shiny, but it's there. It's fine though, it's very fine. It's very, very fine. Okay, let me see if I can get you a look at this. Alright, it's very, very fine gold, but it's there. And it's the stuff highest up. Not all of it's gold, but the stuff highest up towards the corner of the pan there. That's where the little specks of gold are hiding out. And there's a few of them up there. I just don't know if they're showing up on the phone. They're pretty small even in the loop. And all this stuff in here just shines and glitters. But all that glitters isn't gold. As any miner will tell you. Most of that's pyrite. Alright, 2 pans, got gold in both of them. So let me get this stuff sucked up with my snuffer bottle. I'll try and give you a better view of it this time. I think I was holding the pan wrong before. I just want to suck all this sulfides and fine gold right up into the snuffer bottle. You re-stratify what's left in here. And make sure I get all the good stuff. Yeah, there's some more sulfides. Don't want to miss a thing. Alright. Did I get it all? What's that? No, I did not get it all. There's some little tiny flakes of gold hanging out right there. I need to get those sucked up. Nobody left behind. No man left behind. Get you into the snuffer bottle. That looks better. Okay. Excellent. So, you know, I didn't get my money's back, even though I paid pennies on the pound for that stuff. But still, it was fun. And I got a little bit of gold anyway. So my suggestion to make pay dirt bags, which I put out there a little while ago in one of my videos, went over very well. I got a lot of positive responses and comments from people. So that's a distinct possibility in the future. We'll talk more about that in a second. So what's all this about pay dirt bags, you're asking? Well, in a video a while back, I floated this suggestion of making my own pay dirt and selling it for just, you know, a nominal price, you know, plus shipping. I'm not going to try and make a lot of money off of it because I know there's not going to be a whole lot of gold in it unless you're really, really lucky. You know, I go out west a lot. I poke around the old mines. I bring back ore I find. I can bring back more core samples, too. I can get those. I know lots of places to get those Homestake mine core samples. I can smash it all up into the Smash-O-Matic, into the sort of powder you just saw me pan, and then bag it up a pound, whatever, at a time, and sell it cheaply for panning practice, basically. Who knows? You might find some actual decent amount of gold in one bag, although there's no guaranteed ROI. There's no guarantee that you'll find anything, although I think you'll probably find some little flakes of gold at the very least, and some sulfides, and, you know, probably a lot of that magnetite black sand, and you'll have a whole lot of fun trying to separate the three of them. You will improve your panning skills immensely. So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about with the pay dirt. So that's probably going to happen, maybe in the autumn or over the winter, because I'm just about to go out west again, and I'll be bringing back lots of ore samples from those mines. So pay dirt might happen later this year or early next year. We'll see. All right. I think the Smash-O-Matic did an excellent job. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the whole pay dirt idea. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the Smash-O-Matic. Watch the videos where I built it. And check out my second channel, Electro Geek 64. Good stuff going on there if you're at all interested in electronics or retro computing. And thanks a lot for watching this video. Subscribe to see future ones. I'll see you then. Bye.